Hi, I'm Monty Hipsch, the CEO and founder of Preserver app, and I want to tell you about some of its features and its differentiation from some of its competitors today. And I'm joined by my AI WTF friend, Wayne Buckler.
Thanks, Monty. For those of you who have stayed with us through that introduction, my name's Wayne Buckler, and we're talking today about wisdom, tech, and friends. And Monty is going to tell you about Preserver app and why it's the best in the marketplace.
Yeah, that might be stretching it to call it the best in the marketplace, but there are some differentiators, and it's been available for over two years now. If you just search Preserver on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, you'll see the white life ring with the red marks on it, as you see on the side of ships, because it's a life preserver logo, and that's the Preserver app. But I'm often asked, why did you build this app? It's basically another digital journal, another digital journal. And then of course I'll pop up and say it's free, and they'll say, oh, the other journals are all free too. And I'll say, oh, really? So if you go to some of these other journals like Joplin or Obsidian or TiddlyWiki, they're free. Oh yeah, you don't need to pay anything. But what about if you want to have storage or you want to look something? Oh, those are in-app purchases. There's, and it will say right on the app, includes in-app purchases. Preserver has no in-app purchases. It is laden featured. Every premium feature is included in the app. We never ask for any additional money or subscription or in-app purchase. Free means free. So that's one differentiator. We also don't require any registration. So there's no email address, there's no credit card, there's no phone number. In fact, when people download the app from either of those stores, the only information that Google and Apple gives me, it tries to guess the country of origin where the app was downloaded, and it will try to guess gender and or age, but that's it. The app doesn't collect any profiling information, nor can it, and it doesn't. So I don't know if somebody's registered or not unless they tell me.
It sounds like you're a big privacy advocate, Monty.
Yes, I tell people I'm kind of a cross between Julian Assange and Snowden. I'm very much interested in the privacy aspects, and we make them all. I play poker with all my cards face up. There's no way for me to cheat.
Right. So what about these other apps?
Listen, I think we're speaking in one of our other AI WTFs about Apple, and Apple does a lot to try to do privacy and stuff. But again, the Apple thing all lives on your phone. You have to have the Apple account. It stores stuff in the cloud, but it's very powerful. You can search it. You can put set reminders. It has a number of excellent features. I'm not trying to denigrate any of the other apps. All of them that are competitors that have anywhere from hundreds of thousands to millions of users are excellent. But one area where they fall down without a doubt is privacy, because the Preserver app basically retains everything on your phone, and it does have a function where you can upload it to a Google Drive if you elect, but otherwise all the data stays on your phone. It's contained there. It's in a zip file. You then can use the phone's native features to share it, or you can plug it into a laptop computer and put it on that, or you can put it on a scan drive. But in reality, nothing is in the cloud. I don't have any, Preserver doesn't have a cloud server anywhere to collect any information. So since I never have any information, it's never in the cloud.
So the Apple phone users can upload it to the cloud. What about the Android users?
And Android can upload, both Android and Apple can upload it to a Google Drive.
Okay.
But that's by intention. It's not a default. You have to specifically have a Google Drive, say, I want the information to leave my phone and go to the Google Drive. The alternative is that that's turned off. And in fact, I don't recommend that it gets put up into a cloud storage.
Now you've got an expression about if the service is free, what the product is.
Yeah. By the way, I can't claim credit for that, but everybody says if the service is free, you're the product. And that's true. Whether we looked at Microsoft or Meta / Facebook or even Google, Google has all your search history. Meta has all your social history. Amazon has all your shopping history. So all of that information is captured by these people, and some of that is shared between the different platforms and whatnot. And they will say, and it's partially true, there's truth and even lies, that they're trying to give you a better user experience by knowing what you want to do. But you can conduct the experiment of just using your phone, and I can talk to you about trying to buy new tires for my car. And it's amazing how a day later I find a lot of social media posts are about tires for my car.
I've experienced the same thing. And one of the issues with AI that I don't think has yet been adequately addressed is just what's happening to all that information, all those long late night chats with your AI bot, those secrets that you're sharing in the darkness of your bedroom with the screen. Where is all that information going?
Yeah, well, that's an excellent point, because the Preserver app does in fact have an AI agent built into it, and it uses OpenAI, but the OpenAI is corralled. It only uses the information from a proprietary knowledge base that I've put up there and my team about how to use different features in the app and suggestions and whatnot. But none of that information accesses the internet. The chatbot cannot access the internet, nor does the conversation that you have with the chatbot in the Preserver app train the LLM. And if you ask it, it'll say, nope, can't access the internet. Nope, not saving this information. Nope, not training the LLM. So everything is local on your phone.
So because I know a bit about Preserver, that all makes sense to me. But for people who don't know about it, what does Preserver do? When can I use it? Why would I use it?
That's an excellent question. There's a couple of unique features to Preserver. So the Preserver app, as I said, is just it's a white circle like the lifesaver on the side of boats with the red lines. That's the Preserver app. It looks innocuous on your phone. You click on it and it opens. And as soon as you decide to start recording information, there's some unique features. One is it dates and time stamps everything with a GPS coordinate and a map. So as soon as you turn it on, if I were to do it right now while I'm talking to you, it's going to create today's date, a timestamp, GPS coordinates, and a map of where I am. So it's collecting that information as a baseline immediately. The second thing is then it allows you to record, again, these are all native features on your phone. It allows you to record photos, videos, text, including speech to text, and audios, but they're all on one screen. So you don't have to joggle on your phone to different apps. You don't have to go to photos, you don't have to go to notes, you don't have to go to microphone. They're all on one screen, and they've got the standard icons we're used to seeing, the one for the video and the photos and for the notes and whatever. And so if you're sitting there trying to document an experience happening of somebody talking together or a meeting, or if you're worried about, it's been used a lot in the domestic and violence environment for women who fear for their safety. They can just press a button, it records the date, the time, and it can record sound or whatever, and it's all collected on the phone. And that allows them an evidence thing, because when they close that activity, it compiles it on the phone in an uneditable format, so it can't be easily edited. So it's all on the phone, date and time stamped, all local on the device.
And one of the use cases I like for it is I like the idea that you can get someone to record something. In our case, we do some work with BPOs where we audit what they're telling us. You know, they say they've got a generator. We say, use this app and take a photo of it.
Yes.
Not because the photo is brilliant or because the app has got a better camera or anything else, but because we know and we can tell it's not been altered. We know when and where that photo was taken. And then they upload it to the cloud, we download it from the cloud, and that gives us an evidence base for saying, yep, they said they've got a generator. We've seen a photo of the compliance plate on the side of the generator. We know how big it is. We know where it is, so on and so forth. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for people to be fraudulent with us.
Yes, and you're absolutely correct. I would call that incident reporting. And the other nice thing about it is since it's using your phone, it even for not all of our listeners will know what FIFO is, but that's fly in, fly out workers. So if you're out in the bush someplace, it does not require Wi-Fi and it does not require Bluetooth. It just uses your phone. Now, if you don't have any cell coverage or anything, then you got nothing. You got to, well, no, it'll still work on your phone. It just might not have all of the features.
Okay, that's interesting because I know in Australia there's a big population of fly in, fly out workers who a lot of the mine sites now have cell coverage because there's so many of them living there, but some don't. And certainly if you're traveling through outback Australia, for those people who do those trips, it's quite often that you don't have cell coverage at all.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is, as our friend Elon Musk starts to do more and more, he's talking now about having Starlink conductivity for all of Australia on the phone. I think maybe at the Telstra phone. But then if you have Starlink access, then like I said, you won't need Wi-Fi or you won't need Bluetooth. It can use the Starlink. It is limited to what the phone can do.
Yep. And so, Monty, apart from using Preserver in those cases that you mentioned, has it got a role in business?
It does, and one of the activities that it has in business is supporting salespeople. Because if you still have, regardless of AI, and we're talking about AI WTF, salespeople are still having sales meetings. They're going to customers. They're having meetings. They're talking about contracts and services and follow-up and all these sorts of things. And it allows them to use that tool to record a date and time stamp and a meeting, literally either in the meeting or as soon as they leave, when they get in the car before they go to the next location. It can compile all that information for them. Too often, salespeople, men and women alike, will have a couple meetings in the morning and 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So that's 5 meetings. The end of the day comes and they're driving home and they go, now I've got to spend an hour and a half taking all my notes and putting them into a CRM, a customer relationship management system, either in Sightly or Microsoft 365 or Salesforce. And of course, one of their other salesmen catches up with them at the pub and they decide to have a few drinks and not put the information into the CRM. CRMs are wonderful tools, but they're expensive and they often don't capture the information. Preserver can capture that information. And as I said, if they want to then upload it to a cloud, it can go there and an AI can import it into the CRM. And it's no administrative overhead. The salesperson doesn't have to do anything. They can either use it, just turn it on in the meeting and have the transcripts and everything done, or they can just say a couple of voice notes and some pictures from slides they've seen, and bingo bango, it goes in, and they don't have to sit there and spend an hour and a half or 2 hours. And then they have memory loss as well, or at least I do at our age, Wayne. I don't have to worry about the memory loss because it's near real time. I can just do it in the car before I leave, and it's 3 or 5 minutes, and I'm done.
I've forgotten what I was going to say now. No, that's just a joke. Of course I know what I was going to say. I've got notes in front of me like everyone my age. Monty, what else would you like to cover while we're chatting today?
We've had uses of the app that explain, that do everything from somebody waking up in the morning saying, I think I had a dream last night. I think it was me skiing in Japan, and they can record before they get out of bed. They can record their dreams, so they can do dream recording. We all know when we travel internationally, which you and I both do, we've got passports and visas and all of that, and we go to the hotel and we put them in the safe and do all of that. But the one thing we always have with us is our phone. And so we find that for travelers, scanning reservation information, visas, passport, all that sort of stuff, particularly if it gets stolen, it's on their phone and they've got it with them. So for document stuff, I have another member of my team, Graham Brookie, who you've met at times. As soon as he buys anything new, he takes a picture of the receipt, he takes the user's manual and takes pictures of it. He then throws away the receipt, throws away the manual because he's got it on preserver, and it's everything he needed to know about the product.
Yeah.
So the applications become, toxic work environments. If you're being confronted, you can just use it to show if there's a pattern. I'm always shocked. People who have food allergies, they can take pictures of what they're eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so if they have a reaction, they can go back and say, "Oh, what did I eat this morning?" "Oh yeah, I was eating that croissant and I put some jam on it that might have had some sesame seeds in it, and I have a seed allergy." And at least they've captured that. So it's always there. It's in your pocket. And like I say, it merges just the native features on the phone, but all to one screen, which means they don't have to jump around.
Well, given that it's free and private, it seems like there are lots of use cases for it. Monty, it's been nice to have a chat with you this morning. For those of you who have stuck with us and are still listening, I'd like to ask you nicely if you can just do us a favor. In whatever platform you're looking at us, click the buttons that show us that you appreciate us, whether it's subscribes or likes or bells or hearts or whatever it is. It's different all over the place. But we'd just like to know you're out there and that you got some value from the conversation. And we'll be back in a week or so. We never have a schedule because we're too old to be scheduled, but we try and do this about every week, and we'll be back in the same place you're seeing us now. Thanks for your time.
Can I add just 2 comments to that, Wayne? If they do comment on our videos, we will read the comments. And if they'll put a city or a state where they are, it's interesting to see how far our reach is. Are we in America? Are we in, Saudi Arabia? Where? That'd be great.